Good luck, Harry Potter.
Well, cover me with eggs and flour and bake me for 40 minutes.
Hello, and welcome to Screen Masters with me, Bav.
And me, Flo.
And today, we're back to a TV episode, and as you may have noticed, you can see us if you're on YouTube watching the thing, otherwise that won't make any sense. But we are on YouTube for this episode again. We decided to give it a go and see whether there's any interest in it, so if there is, come to YouTube. Watch us, see what you think. If you like this, maybe we'll do some more. Do you like this t-shirt? If you do like this t-shirt, tell us in the comments section, because there's actually a comment section down there if you're watching this on YouTube. If not, go to the Facebook page. Facebook, stop it. Facebook.com/The Screen Masters is where you can come and join the conversation. Leave a comment under any of the episodes. Tell us what you want to see in future episodes. There's a big blue button there. You can send us a message, a DM. What do they say? You can slide into our DMs if you want to. It's like Joey doing the whole grandma's chicken salad. You can make anything sound sexual if you want to.
Yeah, please don't do that, though.
No, okay, fair enough. I would like to just plug our lovely sponsors, the Mill Valley Brewery and Tap, based in Cleckheaton. I've just sampled their beautiful lager. That's their own brew. I can't remember what they called it now.
I don't know.
The boys are in the other room. The top production team went and got me a pint, and it's fabulous. If you live in the area or you're anywhere near where you can buy their produce, Mill Valley Brewery and Tap, buy it. It's awesome stuff. Genuinely, I really like it. So the main topic today is South Park.
South Park.
But I would just like a topical reference this time. So I would like to turn to the immortal words of the Buggles on this one and simply say, video killed the radio star. So South Park.
South Park, yeah.
I'm going to let you go. You start with this one.
Yeah, so...
We're not going to do... Sorry, just to cut you off actually, because I've just handed it to you.
It's fine,
cut you off.
I'm used to you cutting me off.
We're I can't make anything sexual out of that. We are not going to do a little intro bit this time because there's so much to cover in South Park that we're just going to get straight into it. So we'll catch you up on what we've been watching and all that sort of stuff in the next episode.
It's been hard because 22 seasons of South Park.
23.
23.
Well,
sorry, we're in 23.
now, yeah.
So 22 full. We're in the 23rd at the moment. It's been a shitload of South Park for both of us
Yeah,
to try
quite a South Park.
and like a lot. On top of the comedy films and stuff like that, so throwback to the previous episode. Yeah, it's been hard. But yeah, we decided to discuss the evolution.
It's not the first time you said that. Carol.
Yeah, you just keep putting in. That's fine. You just keep.
No.
You
I'm
keep
just
coming
talking
in.
to the listener.
Oh, okay.
While you were talking, she said
okay.
it was quite hard.
Yeah, okay. So we decided that we would go through the evolution of South Park because we'd both not really watched a lot of South Park for the last few years, and then I don't know, I can't remember how.
Now I think we mentioned on a previous one that we were actively catching up.
Yeah. So we decided, you know what, this is a good time because the latest season is out. We've both been enjoying everything that they've had to offer.
Yeah, exactly.
So we figured we'd throw it back. Now, so funny anecdote, as you know, I don't think I've told you this before. How I got introduced to South Park is through wrestling, oddly enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the reason that this happened is because way back in the Attitude Era, the New Age Outlaws,
Yes.
Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, Jesse James,
Indeed.
they came out, and obviously they were at a time where, you know, they were the established D-Generation X and all that kind of stuff. Well, they came out with t-shirts with them as South Park characters, and I didn't really understand, and obviously, as I picked it up, I was like, oh, okay, there's this association, there's this program called South Park. And then finally, I knew about it well in advance, because again, just being a geek that I was even back then, I knew about South Park. So when the first episode came up on Channel 4...
I was going to say, was it Channel 4?
It was Channel 4.
It was
Channel 4. And then it came out, and I absolutely wet myself, because I was like, I'd already knew that this was coming out, and then suddenly it became the amazing sensation that it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, again, wrestling, for me, introduced me to South Park.
That's really interesting. I remember knowing that it was coming to Channel 4 and being very excited about it. It's weird reading the dates of... Because season 1 in America was 97 to 98.
Yep.
I think we must have got it 98-ish.
We got it 98.
But again, I think about it and I'm like, I was 14.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was about at the age for it.
Yeah,
really.
I still didn't understand every joke that was in there.
No, absolutely not. Because again, a lot of it is, some of it is American references.
Yes.
Not so much in the early seasons. Because again, it created that, particularly the early season, was just children with potty mouths,
yeah,
and that was the comedy. It was kids saying what adults should be saying, you know. I got
themselves in
a film
scenarios
that was
that-
just
yeah.
released called Good Boys. That's
Yeah.
very much the same idea. I don't know. It doesn't work for me.
It doesn't. I
But
tried it.
I
it
get
just,
what
yeah,
they were trying
it
to
was-
do.
Yeah.
I just ended up going, oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
So it didn't quite hit it for me. But that is essentially what this was trying to do
Yeah.
back in the day. But that's very early seasons.
Yeah, so in preparation for this, Pete was good enough. Sorry, Bav was very good enough to print off the entirety of the episode list off of Wikipedia,
Just do a quick bit. 22 pages,
22
front
pages.
and back.
front and back.
Half the Friends reference.
yeah, that's it. Sorry. So what we've essentially done is gone through this list rigorously, both of us. Now I just jotted mine down. He's gone through the list as well,
I just
and basically
highlighted
just
the
kind of
list.
highlighted ones that we know, having watched it back then and having rewatched it. So I mean, the first one on mine was the first episode.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
again,
And again, there's no strict plan with this one. We're just
No.
going to sort of
talk shit.
discuss season by season, bits we like,
Yeah.
and like you say, the evolution of it as it went on
Yeah.
into what it is now compared to what it was in the first season. I think they're miles apart.
Yeah, oh god, yes.
Nowhere near the same show.
No. But again, it's still, as I keep saying when I talk about the first Star Wars film, or first, it's the one that sets the precedent. I always go back to the first ones because you need to establish the first one to get
absolutely.
it going. moving
And the
forward.
first one was Carmen gets an anal probe.
Carmen gets an anal probe. So, I mean, that's it. Straight away, we get the introduction to all of these characters. We get the first Kenny there.
Yeah.
We get the first, you killed Kenny.
Yeah. You bastard.
So you know, it's all of those little tropes. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
But watching that when I was younger, it was fucking hilarious. Sadly, I don't. That's the thing. Like I watched the rest of season one because I watched quite a few of them. There wasn't anything else that kind of stood out. For
I think
me,
I mean
season
I've marked
one's.
Mr. Hanky,
Oh, yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
Poo,
it's an
which was
introduction of
episode 9
characters,
because
yeah.
exactly that was
Yeah.
the first time we got introduced to Mr. Hanky, who obviously was still in the 23rd season even.
Yeah.
He was still in there that I may discuss when we get there. Weight Gain 4000 sticks out for me as well because that was beefcake!
Yeah.
Beefcake!
Yeah.
But it's funny, when we were talking about this, I'd totally forgotten, because it was 20 years ago near enough. Well, over actually, yeah.
It's over 20 years now. We're not
I'd
young.
forgotten that Kenny used to die every episode.
Yep.
Because, as we'll see, that got phased out.
Yep.
Because I think they probably ran out of ideas. But again, I then remembered, oh yeah, you had a 20 or the Many Deaths of Kenny poster. Like you'd go down to HMV and have the little posters in the thing.
Yeah.
And I had a Kenny Deaths one. And I'd totally forgotten about all that stuff because it's not a staple of the show anymore.
No.
And again, it was wrestling that reminded me, because it was AEW and Kenny Omega. Someone did a move. It was the Moxley match, John Moxley versus Kenny Omega at Full Gear, and he did a move, and everyone started chanting, "You kill Kenny!"
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, you kill Kenny, you bastards!"
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what they
yeah,
used to do.
yeah.
And but like you say, it's 20 years ago, and how far it's come now. That stuff had just fallen out the back of my head. That used to be a weekly thing that Kenny died.
Yeah.
The only other one I marked in the first series is the Cartman's Mom is a Dirty Slut, the final episode in that season, where they're trying to discover who Cartman's dad is.
Yeah.
And it's the bit at the end that really gets me, because they go to Dr. Mephisto, it's the first time he's introduced, and it's the final sequence of it. It's like, was it this guy? Was it this guy? Was it the 1989 Denver Broncos? Was it this? It's just really, really funny when they're going through the lineup of people it could be. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the first season was. I mean, again, you got to remember, this is before Family Guy. This is before BoJack Horseman. This is before King of the Hill. This is before pretty much any adult, as we quote unquote, animation. I mean, yes, Simpsons had been going, but Simpsons is very much more a family product. Yes, it pushes the boundaries of what a family product means sometimes, but generally it stays fairly safe and plays a family product. Apart from, using a white guy to voice an Indian for 20 years. But hey ho, that is again judging 1989's content by 2019 standards. If a man can do the voice, who cares? It's a voice. Well, I mean, no one ever sees the actor.
In The Simpsons, you've got a woman doing a kid's voice.
Well, quite exactly. What's the problem with that?
That's just the way it is.
So yeah, like you said, the first season is. It's like we always say with these things, isn't it? Genesis.
Yeah.
So it has to be respected.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the show it was in the first season is not what it is now.
Most definitely. It evolved, as we said, the evolution of South Park. It evolved, it grew with its audience, because that's the funny thing. We are the core audience that watched it way back then. We're still the audience that watches it now. There are obviously other generations that watch in between, but they've adapted with the times. They've actually upped their game. You know, they've not sat on the unlike other animated shows that kind of like, you know, The Simpsons, who just kind of churn shit out and nobody kind of talks about it and says, oh, that's, you know, that's
it's almost a staple and
like
taken for granted now, isn't
exactly,
it? It's just a thing that's always there. The Simpsons.
Yeah. So then we go into season 2. Again, like I didn't manage to go through all of the early seasons because there are so many.
Oh no, I didn't rewatch any of the early stuff. Like I said to you before, because when I was at uni, and you know, at uni, what you did was you got Kazaa and you downloaded stuff, or Azurius, I think you used to use.
Yeah, Azurius.
At times. But yeah, for me it was Kazaa at uni. So you'd get Kazaa on the go and you'd download the latest episode of South Park or an entire season of South Park. So I had most of the first 10 seasons or whatever it was. On my computer, just for me to watch whenever I felt like it, and just watch them over and over and over again. But I fell out about season 15, I think I discovered, so I've sort of gone from 15 to date to try and bring myself up to speed. I think the second season starts to push forward, but mainly the second season was dominated by the pop culture explosion of it.
Because oh yes, definitely.
Episode 9 in that season is Chef's Chocolate Salty Balls, which obviously in this country I'm sure it went on to be a number 1 in.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I think it did.
And episode 14 was Chef Aid, and which was fantastic. And I still remember that album that they released to coincide with it, with Elton John doing songs on it, and obviously Isaac Hayes, and I'm sure Carmen does. Is that Come Sail Away?
Yes, yeah.
I love his version of Come Sail Away. So it was very much playing up to that sort of thing and looking to the mainstream and going, okay, well, we're being accepted now, so let's do an album, let's do this, let's do that. So, you know, a lot of the stuff was just the normal thing. And then these spotlights that got released. But I will always love them because they set up the cliffhanger. Excuse me, there was some spray there. The cliffhanger of who Cartman's mum is, and then the first episode of season 2 was completely different and was about Terence and Phillip, and was like a mini Terence and Phillip movie. And then we got to Cartman's mum is still a dirty slut as the second episode. And of course we discover that Cartman's dad is his mum because she's a hermaphrodite, so she impregnated herself.
At this point. At this point, we learn later on that that's not necessarily the case.
But the first time that made me piss my pants. I couldn't believe how they'd gotten out of that one in a way that no one would know. No,
I mean the one that stood out for me, just having gone back over it, was the episode 15, the parallel universe one. And again, it's because of that thing where you get nice Carmen, and it's like, you guys are my best friends. And that whole song, I still remember most of that for even now. And again, it was that thing of, you're not Carmen. Or they wanted to keep him, and then he does the flip, and then ends up sending the good one away, and stays himself because he pretends to be good and all that. So that was the one that I kind of remembered vividly from that kind of season.
Yeah, totally.
And then it goes into season 3, and I think this is where again it starts to pick up steam. So the ones I remember from this one, Sexual Harassment Panda.
It's Sexual Harassment Panda.
Just.
Oh my
God.
God.
I mean, and especially with everything that is going on in today's world, today's society, especially in the last few years, that was like fucking decade ahead of its decades ahead of time.
And again, I think as you go through this, the more I realise that actually, shit, you were ahead of your time on that one. You were pointing out that, and I'll discuss a couple of them when we come to it. But yeah, it's really funny.
There's the Chinpokomon episode,
Chinpokomon and Shu. Shu sticks in my head, and I actually became convinced a couple of months ago that Shu was a Pokemon that Pokemon Company had invented, and then someone reminded me that no, that was a South Park thing, and I was like, oh shit. I've convinced myself that Shu was real.
But what makes me laugh is 20 years later, your son in particular is a huge Pokemon fan and collects so much of the stuff, and I'm like, this was 20 years ago, and still this fad is still ever more popular.
I remember I posted something a while ago when Pokemon Go came around, and that sort of put it back into the pop culture. And I was like, shit, it's because trading cards suddenly became a thing as well, and schools that I work in were banning trading cards and things. And I was like, shit, it's 2017 or whatever it is, and I've just seen people playing, trading Pokemon cards in the playground. What happened? Yeah. But did I go back in time? What's the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for this one, ones that get me, the succubus. I have to mention the succubus because that's where Tree Fitty. Tree Fitty, which Chef's dad always needs Tree Fitty. And obviously we've used that. That's just been
we've used that continually.
And they started to introduce the new characters. So you had Tweak versus Craig as an episode to try and bring some other characters forward. Korn's groovy pirate mystery thing that's like
fucking bonkers.
I know, and I found it hilarious because it's the Scooby-Doo piss take where Korn are the Scooby-Doo gang.
Yeah, the mystery machine gang. Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. Starving Marvin was a thing. He was really popular back in the day.
Yeah.
Starving Marvin in Space, this one is. And then the Worldwide Recorder concert I flagged up, which is the end of this third season. Now, I might be remembering this wrong, and again, if you're on YouTube watching this, comments are down there, go and tell me.
Not his penis.
But the Worldwide Recorder concert, I think that's the one where they discover the brown noise.
I was just about to say it's the brown note.
Yeah, I think it is, the brown note, and they changed the music for the concert to be the brown note.
And the whole world shits
And the whole world shits itself, which, oh god, how ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
After the third season, we got the film.
Yes.
In between seasons 3 and 4. I mean, they don't directly play in, but that's when you can see that the popularity had built in 3 seasons to the point where they were like, yep, give us a film, please. We'd like a film.
Yep.
It'll make money. So that was then released.
But that's the thing. It's not like the film was kind of. You look back at that film and. Having rewatched it recently, because again, I was like, okay, I've got to watch the South Park film. All of the songs in that so much hold up to the test of time. Just like...
Is that the one, because I've had this line in my head, blame Canada, blame Canada,
yes.
It's not even a real country anyway.
Yeah. And Carl's Mum's a bitch.
Oh yeah, Carl's Mum's a bitch, big fat bitch, she's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world, she's a mean old bitch and she has stupid hair. She's a bitch to all the boys and girls.
And then it goes around the world. Yeah. That honestly is fucking
because
hilarious.
they do the I need to do my thing.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's funny.
Yeah, and that's it. Going back and I'm like, fuck me, this is hilarious. Yeah. Honest to God, hilarious. Like the soundtrack for that, as well as the film itself. Honestly, when I was talking about the previous podcast, throwback to the comedy films.
Yeah.
I almost switched out Team America for South Park.
I had the same decision, so I was like, one of these two is going in. But knowing what we were doing for this episode,
precisely,
and actually no, I choose Team America anyway. So we then moved into season 4, which was 2000. So the year 2000. So we started with a lot of the episodes. They just started tagging 2000 on the end of the name. So we had Tooth Fairy Tats 2000, Carmen's Silly Hate Crime 2000, Timmy 2000, which I flagged because that's again another character that we were introducing, trying to get him in. Pip.
Yeah,
there was
the
Great Expectations piss take to introduce him. I've then flagged up the wacky molestation adventure as well, because just the topics and how they're dealing with all this shit.
I flagged up the 8th episode, Finger Bang the Boy Group.
Oh, I'm gonna finger bang you into the night.
Christ. And again, how ahead of its time for the boy band kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly. At the time. And it was bang on.
Totally.
The 4th grade as well, because that's the only time. I think they're in 5th grade now.
I think so, yeah.
It's weird with South Park because they obey continuity
for a little while.
To a degree.
Yes, for a little while.
And then they kind of behave, they pick and choose, essentially. And they go up to the 4th grade, and then I think they're in the 5th grade, but they never seem to age. But then they do have birthdays. So it's weird.
Yeah.
They started out as 8-year-old boys who are in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So then they have, because there's one where one of them is like his 9th birthday or his 10th birthday, and it changes. Question flagged up from here. It's just purely on episode titles to show you what they're thinking. There's episode 9's called "Do the Handicapped Go to Hell," and episode 10's called "Probably." It's like, oh guys, and this was where they started. I mean, this is where you can see them starting to take it away from humour between kids saying dirty things and starting to look at the world and say, right, well, we want to make a point about this, we want to make a point about that. And, you know, we've seen glimpses in the prior seasons, but it was the minority, I would have said, of episodes that had a point to make. It was mostly just throwaway nonsense.
Yeah, this is where
we're now starting to get towards a 60-40 sort of balance, where the 40% is trying to make a point, and the 60% is sort of throwaway one and dones.
Yeah, you always this is I think the season where you suddenly get like Kyle or Stan just like, I learned a lesson today.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
that's where that
today,
or
guys.
I mean that was before, but this is where that became ever more prevalent.
And I think that I started to understand as well that because obviously Trey voices, I think Trey voices Stan and Matt voices Kyle, and I realised that those two guys are the voice of the creators, and that's when they're trying to make their point. They're speaking through that character because that's them, as far as they're concerned. That's them as an 8-year-old boy, but with the knowledge of what they have now. So they're speaking to you with their direct message, just using that character as a through, conduit. So season 5, 2001, and we started to get shorter seasons at this point as well. So
I don't know whether this was during the writer's strike era and stuff like that. I can't
somewhere
even
around there.
Yeah,
Heroes is always what I remember that for, because season 2 was crap and short because of that. But yeah, we started with It Hits the Fan, which is the one where there's a counter for every time they say the word shit, and then there's a demon that comes out because you swear too much and stuff. Scott Tenorman Must Die, I've flagged up, because that's the first one where you really see what an arsehole Cartman is and what he's capable of. It's so fucking dark, man.
Just for those who perhaps haven't seen this particular episode, this is where Cartman, who has been sold some pubes from Scott Tenorman for some money, and he's like, yeah, I've got pubes, and they're like, Cartman, you're a fucking arsehole. Like, you grow pubes, you don't buy them. So he gets pissed off at him, and then he gets tricked into losing more money, and he's like, I'm going to get this bastard back. So in the end, what does he do? He has his parents murdered, he chops them up, turns them into chili, and then feeds them to Scott Tenorman.
And then Scott Tenorman's crying his eyes out when he discovered what's happened, and then Radiohead, his favourite band that are playing at the chili cookout, come over and see him and are like, you're a sissy, whiny little bitch, aren't you?
Stop being such a crybaby.
And I remember him crying, and Cartman leaning over going, oh, Scott, let me taste your tears. And it just cuts to Stan and Kyle, and they're like, dude, don't ever fuck with Cartman.
Like, this is like, I mean, he gets dark as shit from time to time, but this is like, he's literally killed, cannibalised somebody's, and fed, just, what the fuck?
It's hilarious.
Fucking hilarious.
Towley.
Yeah, I was going to say the origin of Towley
from that.
Oh my god. Which I think we've talked about previously.
I think we may have done. He's a pot-smoking, intelligent towel. He's fucking brilliant. I bet you forgot your thing as well.
No, I haven't. I was going to say, let's just pause right there.
Enemy fatso.
So apologies for the brief delay, but we now have...
You may have noticed something's changed. So we brought the prop. We did get the prop.
You don't want Towley around, so you ban Towley. So am I to understand that there's been a Towley ban?
I can't believe that's the one it was on.
Yeah, so there you go. That's
Towley.
Well, let's try one more.
Don't preach to me, fatso.
That's the one. Don't preach to me, fatso.
So Towley's just going to stay down there.
And that's around the right time, because the episode after that is Osama Bin Laden Has Farty Pants, which is all about Osama Bin Laden and being funny with him. How to eat with your butt, because everyone...
Yes, I remember this.
It's another fantastic idea that makes sense right at the end, but it's such a ridiculous way they go about presenting the idea to you. But the idea is essentially, everyone talks shit.
Yeah.
And if you start stuffing food up your ass, you start shitting through your mouth.
And and they go to dinner parties,
It's
and
the
they just like
noise.
they pass around the bowl, and they're just like, and they just spit up. Apparently it's healthier for you, so they said. Jesus Christ.
And Kenny dies.
Yeah,
which
I'd
is the
like
one
that
where
one.
actually Kenny dies.
Yeah.
They actually killed him.
Yeah. And the battle between heaven and hell.
Yeah. Was it the golden PSP?
For the golden PSP. Yeah. And Cartman's pissed off because Kenny is dying, but like he's not dead, but he wants his PSP, so he goes to Supreme Court to try and convince them, like, let my...
Because they're keeping him alive on, like, a drip or whatever, aren't they?
Yeah.
He wants it to be turned off.
Yeah.
So that he can get access to something that Kenny has that he wants.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Brilliant.
And then, of course, the series finishes with Butters' very own episode, which was where we properly got Butters introduced into things.
And Butters.
Butters.
Poor Butters. We'll get to Butters later on because he does, go through some fucking hellish shit.
He does,
oh my god. But what a fantastic character Butters is. Yeah. And truly. So 6.
Into season 6. Well, Jared Haday's makes me laugh just because of the play on the name that they go with anyway.
Yeah.
And obviously, again, it's one of those ones that I didn't really know at the time because, Jared, who the fuck's Jared? I don't know. And obviously now I know, so then when I went back and watched it again later on, I got the jokes. The new Terrence and Phillip movie trailer is a great episode because they're just waiting the entire episode to see this teaser trailer for something, and of course it's a teaser trailer. So the joke is, words will fly at the screen really fast.
And then it's like a 2-second trailer.
2-second clip of them going...
Yeah, and that's it.
And then it cuts, and then everyone's going,
it's fucking brilliant! Yeah.
And again, it's just such a simple play on teaser trailers and how excited people can get at the thought of nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And then we run into 2 that I adore because it's the introduction of Butters as Professor Chaos.
Yes.
And his first Professor Chaos episode and his sidekick, General Disarray. Oh, God. And then the episode after is Simpsons Already Did It. Where Professor Chaos is trying to come up with plans for world domination and stuff, and General Disarray is just going, Simpsons already did it.
I'm going to steal the head off the statue. Simpsons already did it.
Yeah, Simpsons already did it. I'm going to put the whole town in a dome and do that. Simpsons already did it.
Yeah.
And it's just like he can't come up with anything. And I'm sure the concurrent storyline with the boys is sea monkeys.
Yes.
And then Cartman getting them to worship him as some sort of god because he puts...
Actual
Jesus!
Semen. He puts actual semen in there.
A guy, I'm sure the way he explained... Where did you get it from, Cartman? Oh, I met a guy in an alley and he took me around the corner and made me suck it from a hose.
Oh, God! Yes, he does! Oh, God! Yes, he does. Yeah, he does. So he gets semen from a homeless guy and sucks it out of a pipe.
Yeah.
Fuck me, that was...
Yeah.
Whoo! Yeah.
Things like Bebe's boobs destroy society. Where Bebe starts to get tiny boobs.
Yeah, and this is where
all the men start go, whoo,
yeah.
whoo,
and then Wendy goes and gets like massive fake tits.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the 2 that stand out for me is Ladder to Heaven.
That's the next one I've got listed.
Which is, the guys are trying to build a ladder to heaven so they can ask Kenny where he put a voucher, a coupon for them to go on a free sweet collection thing. And at the same time, Carmen eats Kenny's ashes.
Yeah.
And then that spins a whole thing.
Because I think for the rest of the season, Kenny is inside him, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he keeps, every now and then, Kenny says something.
Yeah, and the next episode, which is one of my all-time faves, definitely.
Absolutely.
Return of the Fellowship of the Ring of Two Towers.
Return of the Fellowship of the Ring to the Two Towers.
Yeah. And it's basically them returning a copy of the Fellowship of the Ring to a video store, but it turns out it's a porno, but they're dressed as like Gandalf and oh my god! But so this is the prelude for me, having played it, to the Stick of Truth as well. Yeah. So like these characters, this kind of setting is the prelude to the Stick of Truth, which we get to.
And by the way, for any younger listeners, video rental shops are where we used to go, and we used to pay people money, and they used to give you a copy of the film you wanted to watch, and you'd take it home and watch it, and then you'd bring it back again a few days later.
VHSs.
Yeah,
so eventually it got to DVDs, but you know, predominantly VHS.
I've flagged the Death Camp of Tolerance because, as we discussed off pod, again, I haven't had time to research this one, so I apologise in advance. Again, comments down here. I'm definitely not pointing at my penis. I'm sure that's the first Lemmy-Winks episode.
Yes, I think
I'm
it is.
sure that's the first one where we meet Lemmy-Winks
Yeah.
and Katata Fish and all of that nonsense, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Red Sleigh Down makes me laugh as well, which was the end of that season, which is just a piss take of Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
But with Father Christmas.
With Father Christmas.
So Father Christmas
is it in Iraq or
Sleigh,
Afghanistan?
Gets shot down in Iraq.
Yeah.
And then they have to go and save him, and that's brilliant.
Yeah. So then we're on to season 7. Now I know for a fact that again, one of my favourite episodes ever is in this one, but I know that one of your favourite episodes is in this.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take the lead on that
Go
one.
on then, yeah.
No, you can do this. You do the impression better than I ever could on this one. Come on.
So yeah, one of my favourites, like you say, of all time really, is episode 5, which is called Fat Button Pancake Head, referring to Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, because they were dating at the time. And Carmen develops a thing on its hand. So again, for audio listeners, I apologise, I'm going to use a visual aid here. Go to YouTube and watch us if you want to see. But his hand, where you make a little face and a mouth out of your hand like that. It's, hello, I'm Jennifer Lopez. I like tacos y burritos. And she takes over.
Very good.
She gets thanks. She gets given a recording contract, and then again it goes similar to the sucking it from a fucking hose. There's a bit where he's in because Ben Affleck falls in love with Cartman's hand.
Yeah.
And ends up in a car with Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
and he's sort of looking away, looking to the side with his hand on his chin, sort of looking really bored.
Yeah.
And then his hand's going, oh Ben, oh Ben, oh Ben. And he's like, what? And his hand is moving up and down on Ben Affleck's crotch, and he's like, oh my god, that's disgusting. And he's like, oh dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's again, Cartman, these became some of my favourites, because they're Cartman trying to wind everyone up, getting everyone to buy into the fact that this hand is a real person, and waiting for them to bite just so that he can go, ha 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 ha, I got you guys. And it's just how far he has to go sometimes to make this shit work is, well, it's too far, but it produces amazing results. And then in the end, it wasn't Jennifer Lopez, it was Mitch Conner.
Yes.
And he was a con man.
Which comes up a lot later.
Goes.
I think he pops up later, and he also, again, pops up in the second of the video games as well. But I'll get to that one when I get to the appropriate place.
So yeah, that's one of my favourite. I love the one after it as well, which is Lil Crime Stoppers, where they start playing a game where they're cops.
Yeah.
And then they actually get recruited by the cops.
Yeah.
But because it's one of those things where they go to the situation, they have no guns or anything, they just use their fingers going pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
But through the actions of the people whose houses, like the meth lab they go to, they all go nuts, kill each other, and blow up their own meth lab accidentally.
My God, you boys are the best cops I've ever seen.
But you got no respect for the law. You're too damn reckless.
Yeah.
And essentially, they hate. By the end, they don't want to play anymore.
No.
So they go back to playing laundromat.
Yeah.
Because that's easier.
Yeah, and they're just like literally like, oh, how would you like your shirts? For me, I think the absolute killer of this season, again, showing the absolute awfulness of Cartman, is Casa Bonita. And poor fucking Butters, who's, oh my God, like, just poor Butters just being put into a bomb shelter, told that the world's ending, and you know that there's zombies and there's and it's all because Carmen just wants to go to Casa Bonita.
Absolutely.
And just his whole deprived thing, and then by the end, and he's just like gets caught, and then it's just like he's just floating on some water, having crashed basically headfirst into the fucking thing. Was it worth it?
Totally.
And it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Episode 12 of this season as well, all about Mormons.
Mm-hmm.
I very much like, and obviously was then the basis for the Book of Mormon musical that they did. But again, it's like a later episode where they look at Scientology, which I'll discuss when we get there. It's hilarious to see this stuff on screen, and you know them literally having to put subtitles at the bottom, going, "This is actually what Mormons believe," and just pointing out the ridiculousn's of what's going on in religion, which I always appreciate. Raisins is the other one that gets me. Yeah. Because I just, it's the, how do you do Hooters for 8-year-olds? Raisins, because that's what you'd see.
Again, it pops up in the second video.
So wrong, but so funny at the same time.
Yeah, it pops up again in Fractured Butthole. It's brilliant because, again, it plays off very well within the game. Yeah. It's hilarious. So then we go into, or what we are, season 8, okay. So
and this,
season 8.
For me, I mean, you know, I looked through this one and I was like, shit, there's so many episodes that stick with me in this one. So it was obviously peak time for me, because we start with what I assume is on your list.
Of course.
Go on, you do that one.
So this is the Japanese weapons.
Good Times with Weapons.
Good Times with Weapons.
Which is the anime episode, essentially.
Yeah, so again, talking back to anime,
Indeed.
Throw back to our previous. But this is just, so they go out, they convince a guy to sell them some weapons, and then they're like, yeah, we're ninjas, and they just look so cool with their anime personas.
And then there's poor old Butters again. He gets hit by a ninja star.
He gets hit by a ninja star in the face, and he basically, it's in his eye. But they don't want everybody to know because they don't want their parents to know. So they basically dress him up as a dog and hide him in an oven at one point.
Man, it breaks my heart.
And then Butters is like, he doesn't want to kind of, and he's just like, and he's barking like a dog, then gets put in the pound, and then all the dogs in the pound piss on him. And he's just like, for fuck's sake, poor Butters. Oh my god, like this is,
I felt so bad. Butters just, I felt so bad for him at this time because he was the butt of every joke and he was the thing. And obviously as we go on, he does occasionally get a measure of comeback against Carmen, but essentially he was the one that he's going after. You have
next one, he's probably going to be on my list as well.
What, up the down steroid?
Oh, no. Awesomeo.
Oh, Awesomeo, that's on mine, which again is one of these ones that's too far.
Yeah.
He's trying to wind Butters up, so because it's the one where at the beginning, I think, they have a video of him dancing with a Justin Timberlake cutout, and him pretending he's Britney
Spears,
and that Justin Timberlake loves him, and to stop them releasing this video, he pretends to be a robot.
Yeah. Well, no, he's trying to basically learn Butters' secrets.
That's
right.
That he's got something to go back with.
And then he's just like, oh well, Eric Carmen doesn't know that I've done it. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
Ah, shit, I'm gonna have to stay as Awesomeo. And then just and then go into Hollywood and then coming up with a million ideas for what was it, Adam Sandler
Sandler movies,
Jesus.
And there's the bit in that again where he's in the room with the studio executive, and the studio executive entirely believes he's a robot, and he's like, "Are you a robot that's made for sexual reasons?
Yes.
Do you have a sexual functionality? It's like, are you a pleasure?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, please don't.
Yeah.
I can't handle it if you do that. But again, it comes back to this huge standoff in a thing, and Cartman, people are going to get shot, and Cartman still will not reveal that he is Awesomeo.
But again, it's foreshadowing of that Hollywood plight of, studio executive is just going to bang anything.
True, actually. I never thought about it. The Weinstein approach to it. Yeah, you're right, absolutely. Goobacks I've got noted purely because again it launched the phrase and again that's a very interesting, that's still relevant now because that was about immigrants coming into America and taking the base jobs, taking the manual labour jobs, the jobs that the American people didn't want, but then the American people who don't want those jobs got pissed off about the fact that these people were doing those jobs, and it's like, what the fuck? The stupid spoiled whore video playset, I've marked that down as well because that was at the time of Paris Hilton. Don't Google Paris Hilton because unless you've got safe search turned on, children. I
wouldn't expect children to be listening to this podcast.
Oh, you don't know, man.
Well, okay.
Kids can get hold of any shit these days, can't they? That's true. And then one of my favourites is Woodland Critter Christmas.
Oh, I did have that down as well. Yeah.
Because again, that is, you don't realise what's going on until about halfway through when they're like, yes, let's go and rape her and kill her. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck? Did he just say rape and kill?
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, it turns out that the woodland critters that appear all nice and friendly are actually Satan devil worshippers praying to the Lord.
Wait for wanting the Antichrist to appear, and then like, oh yeah, she's the virgin birth and she's giving birth to the Antichrist. What the actual shit?
Yeah.
Season 9 now.
So again, here I've got Die Hippie Die is a piss take of the core where they're digging to the centre of the earth, which is a crap film, but it just that's the. Screw you hippie, which stuck with me for years. I wish I'd looked up where the first one to do screw you guys, I'm going home, because that's another phrase that came to me. I realised because that was used so much it got to the point where he didn't even have to say it. He'd go screw you guys and just point.
Yeah.
And then just walk off. Yeah, and then just walk off the set. It was like, okay, because they used that quite a lot. I've marked Best Friends Forever, not that I remember it entirely, but I'm sure that is another Kenny one, where we're now trying to get Kenny back again, where they bring him back into it, and then just don't kill him off all the time.
One for me on this one was The Death of Carmen, where they basically pretend that he's no longer alive. Yes. Because he's pissed them off to that point.
They just all ignore him.
They just ignore him to the point where he thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
And only Butters can see it.
Yeah, that's right. another one I marked down just for the losing edge, where I'm sure that's the one where Stan has to play baseball and he really doesn't want to play baseball because his dad goes to all the matches and just gets blind drunk and he just strips his shirt off and starts shouting abuse at people.
Yeah. Oh, none of the team wants to win. Because it means that they'll lose their summer.
Exactly,
they're going to lose their summer.
So they want to lose, and Randy wants them to win, and he's always in fights going, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was America. I thought this was America." And he's got his pants round his ankles as he's being dragged into the car. But it also features the song, "You're the best around, that's how I'm gonna keep it down." Oh, I fucking love that song.
You're busting out your singing today.
I know, I am. Impressions, singing, it's all here. 2 days before the day after tomorrow.
Yes.
Which is just a day after tomorrow piss take, but I've noted it because the title has always stuck with me because it's hilarious when you actually think about it.
Tomorrow,
2 days before the day after tomorrow is today.
Yeah.
And then the main one for me after that is Trapped in the Closet, which is the piss take of Scientology, and I'm sure it got banned for a little bit after it was released because the Scientology community kicked off and then they said no afterwards and unbanned it.
See, the one just before for me on that one, the Ginger Kids, where
Carmen, do they dye his hair?
Yeah, they dye his hair, they change his skin complexion, they give him like freckles and stuff, and then he becomes this leader of the ginger people, and like he's gonna turn the whole fucking world upside down, and then basically like Carl just goes up and whispers in his ears and just basically tells him, and then he's just like, okay, we're not going to do this to the rest of the world. And he's literally got them eaten out of the palm of his hand. Yeah. But again, it showed the power of Cartman. Yeah. Literally the power of Cartman. I can't remember which episode where he ends up becoming like a Nazi dictator and then gets everybody to like kind of spout out how much they hate the Jews in German, and you're just like,
Wir müssen sie Juden ausrotten.
There you go, Jesus Christ. Well done for remembering that.
Yeah, it's what they're walking around saying,
but yeah, that's what, and Free Wilsiak. Jesus Christ. So they tried to free a whale and return it to its home on the moon.
Yes.
And so they call up all of the space agencies around the world, and then they finally call Mexico, and they're like, oh, hey, $100 or something like that, and they're like, what? Okay, brilliant. And then it's just the final shot of the actual episode.
I was going to say, that's the bit that sticks in my head.
They finally sent the rocket off, and then the final shot is Wilsiak completely dead on the surface of the moon.
Yeah, and the credits just start going.
Yeah, and that's it.
Just
fucking
absolutely
brilliant.
Fucking hilarious. So yeah, series 10, which is still not even halfway through.
We're not even halfway through yet.
No, and this is where some big good ones come into it for me. The return of Chef, I think, is worth a mention because this was the point where Chef left.
Yeah, Isaac Hayes done.
Because was it Scientology that stopped it? It was, wasn't it? Because he became a Scientology believer, and then so they wrote him off, and not in a nice way.
No.
He was part of a supergroup that was abusing children, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and he comes back as Darth
The World
Chef.
Avenger Team, or something. It's the World Adventure Club.
Yeah, World Adventure Club. Yes, yeah. And he eventually comes back as like Darth Chef, completely Darth Vadered and stuff.
Smuggler is the one after that, which I fucking love, where they moved to San Francisco and everyone's driving Priuses, claiming they're eco, and it's because I think this is still a problem now.
Yeah.
Like morons who drive electric cars. Sorry if you drive an electric car, but electricity isn't the future, because most of our electricity is still produced by burning fossil fuels or nuclear power plants. We're not at the point yet. I think in the UK, there's been about 4 times in the last 10 years, we've actually been using more than 50% renewable resources to generate power for that day. 4 times in 10 years. Because we need a hot day with wind, but not too much wind and not too little wind, because the damn things can't work when there's no wind, and they can't work when the wind's too strong. So you've got to get it in between. So there was 4 days when there's been enough power coming from renewables, more power coming from renewable sources than anywhere else. And it's, hydrogen fuel cells. That's where we should be going. We won't do it because of the price to separate hydrogen from its other elements will always be static, because you haven't got to drill it from the bottom of the ocean or anything. And then, of course, the oil companies don't make any money. So this is why they're quite happy for us to push on with electrics. They're like, yeah, I don't care. In India, they're still burning coal. They're still using gas to generate the electricity. Use electric. It's hilarious. And then when you've got one of the most powerful countries in the world claiming that climate change isn't a thing, they're not even going to go forwards to that, are they?
Let's push
but
on.
It is, like I say, the electric car drivers I see in this country, and it's it is that smugness that comes with them. That's like, oh yes, but I'm better than you because I'm driving an electric vehicle and you're driving a diesel. And I'm going, yes, but where does your electricity come from? Is it coming from the grid, the same as mine is, which means it's coming from a nuclear power centre, or it's coming from a coal-fueled place, or it's coming from a gas-burning place? So actually, you're saving fuck all, are you? And then when we look at where your fucking car, the amount it has to travel to get fucking made, and the amount of horrible, horrible chemicals that those batteries are going to put into the world, into the ground and into the atmosphere when they finally need to go away. Where are you going to recycle them? Yeah, you can't really, can you? They wind me up. So yes, that was hilarious. And again, this is 2006. And they were doing this then. And it's still prevalent now, And then Cartoon Wars Part 1 and 2 is after that, which is the big thing with Family Guy. And Muhammad,
yeah,
where they tried to show the image of Muhammad in Part 2, and it got censored.
Is it supposed to be right at the end of episode 1? And
I thought episode 1 built up to it, and then it was going to be in episode 2.
I've watched so many South Park, I'm trying to keep them all in check. But
they ended up censoring it, Comedy Central.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
You get the hilarious bit where they show you how Family Guy's made, because it's essentially a Family Guy piss take, isn't it? And making, but yeah,
and they come up with a stupid
bingo
fucking
balls,
idea.
Manatees in a tank, and bingo balls with different topics drop in. They pick 3, and that's the cutaway gag they're going to go with. And that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I flagged up Man Bear Pig.
Yeah, no, I mean, Man Bear Pig
only
comes up later.
because it's come up later.
Yeah.
But again, this was, and I mean,
it foreshadows what comes later.
Exactly, but it's again 2006, and I know it was Al Gore bringing the point forwards with Inconvenient Truth. But again, it's not wrong. But people don't believe in it because Man Bear Pig isn't a real thing. And it's like, yeah, it is a real thing. Just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not real. And that's the point we're making here.
Yeah.
Climate change is happening. You just can't see it.
So I think for me, the next one.
And I know you've got the next one.
Yeah, I've got it. So it's the Warcraft episode.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is,
make love,
not Warcraft. Now, what was hilarious was you and I had both at this point been enjoying MMORPGs.
Yes,
massive
absolutely.
Online role-playing games, for those who don't know. So we played a few City of Heroes, I think was the one we were.
That's right.
So we understood the mechanics of this, but it was absolutely fucking hilarious. Still, hands down, one of the top 5 episodes of all time.
And again, it works really well because they actually got Blizzard, the guys who make Warcraft, to do the CG stuff for them. So their characters are all, it's all CG done by Blizzard in game. So you get a change as well from the normal South Park animation. And you get the players with their carpal tunnel straps on. The Cheetos all over them and stuff, and again, one of those recurs later on, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yeah, he comes back in the latest, not in season 22. But it's the thing of so they're getting their ass whooped by this one guy who's just basically killing everybody. So they're like, we're gonna go and kill Boar. Again, a phrase that.
Boar, of course.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So, and how many times have we used that? As a reference,
I need to go and
like,
kill some boar, man. Gotta go and kill some boar.
That's it. And for every game that we play, gotta go and kill some fucking boar.
So the killing boar is the grind. And again, it's a thing that if you play any sort of game, even particularly mobile games, they're all about the grindy. If it's a free to play game, it's about grinding, and that's the grind. And it was killing boar.
See.
So I really wish I knew what Go God Go and Go God Go Part 2 was. But
that's fine because I have noted these and I did watch these. So we had Go 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 and basically it's the Wii episode where
that's the one where he's so excited for the Wii to come out.
Yeah, he's pacing back and forth and he's just going, come on, because he ends up freezing himself. While at the same time, Mr. Garrison, or Mrs. Garrison at this point, because she's had the sex change, is now having sex with, I think it's Richard Dawkins, who later turns out to be like the person who created the Ultimate Atheist League, or whatever they come up with 3 acronyms for it. But the whole crux is that basically Carmen wants to freeze himself so that he can get the Wii. And then he's in the future, and then he has to deal with the sea otters, who would smash his head open on their belly, like a clam. these are the little things that absolutely tickle me, even to this point. And then eventually, he goes back in time. They sink him back in time. Guess what? It's not 3 weeks. It's 2 months. And it's just like, come on! And it's just fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
You just reminded me actually, because the Garrison one was, it's called Mr. Garrison's Fancy New Vagina, and he gets that at the beginning of season 9. Because I'm not sure whether that's, there's one of them, and it's literally just popped back into my head.
I almost did it. I think. Do you remember the scissor? Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Sesame Timbers.
Yeah.
Sesame Timbers.
Oh, Sesame Timbers.
Oh, I fucking love that.
Brilliant.
So on to season 11, which starts with Apologies to Jesse Jackson, which is the one about the Chewbacca defense. I can't even remember the line now, but it's the Chewbacca defense, and it is brilliant.
Oh God. What? Yeah, the N word. And
if you think that this is that, and that is the...
It's
Naga. Shit, it starts with him doing Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
And he's got N, blank, G-G-E-R. Yeah. And he's like, what's the word?
Yeah.
He's like...
Someone that annoys you. Yeah, we're not saying that.
No, I'm not going to say it, but Randy is there going, and he's like, no, it's Nagger!
Yeah, and he's just like, oh my God.
And Randy says the wrong thing. Le Petit Tourette. I've got marked down, which is I think the one where Carmen develops Tourette's.
Yeah,
he realises that if he's got Tourette's, he can shout abuse at people and not get told off.
Unfortunately, his brain suddenly, by the end of it, starts syncing up, and literally everything he doesn't want to say.
Yeah, he actually develops Tourette's, and then his subconscious starts blurting shit out.
I'm lying. Oh my God. Yeah. So that was
I think the biggest ones. I've marked Guitar Queero.
Yeah, I did.
I was a huge Guitar Hero fan.
We both played that plenty. So yeah.
But Imaginationland, really, the 3-part Imaginationland, that's fantastic. It's essentially another movie.
Imagination.
And it's the bit in that, because it's Stargate, isn't it? It's a nice little Stargate piss take of the eye and stuff, and they get people in to see what to do next. And they talk to Michael Bay, and Michael Bay's like, yeah, okay, so we do this, and then this comes in, it's like, Michael, that's just a series of action sequences. Yeah, I don't know the difference. Yeah, we know you don't. And out he goes, and then Mel Gibson comes in, he's like, well, you can do this, and this, and I'm like, huh, is that what you want about Mel Gibson? Yeah. The bastard knows story structure.
My nipples.
Yeah. The Snook I've marked.
The Snook,
because that's the 24 piss take, where I'm fairly sure that Hillary Clinton ends up with a nuke in her sniz.
She does. She does.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So
then we go into what? Season 12? I mean, we're only just halfway now. My God. So for me in season 12 we've got. See, again, I didn't jot down the name, so you'll have to help me with this. Number 3 was
Major Boobage.
Major Boobage, which is the cat piss episode.
Yes.
Where Kenny gets addicted
cat piss.
to cat piss.
Yeah.
And then suddenly.
And again, I love the animation style change in this because it's
heavy metal, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And he's. Oh God. Yeah. It's
seeing just a woman's big boobs, and he's just like
and it's all the heavy rock music and stuff. It's awesome.
While Carmen is also trying to protect cats, he's trying to keep them and foster them because everybody in town is just trying to steal them to get high.
Yeah, exactly. Canada on Strike is the one after that, which I'm fairly sure is the origin of Buddy Guy.
I'm not your guy, friend.
I'm not your friend, buddy.
I'm not your buddy guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm sure that's the origin of that.
Yeah. I don't know which one
I've got stuff like the.
Oh, so no, wait before you get. So I've got number 6, the episode 6. What's that one? Overlogging. So this is the one.
Is that the one with?
Yes. So this is the one where the internet goes down for everybody. So obviously, like Randy. This is the quintessential Randy Marsh episode where he drives across the country. He's like, I need the internet. Why? For internet porn.
Yeah.
That is it. And so eventually, they hide the computer in a room for the night, and so he breaks in, and then he's just like looking at like Japanese girls throwing up in each other's mouths. Yeah. He's looking at bestiality. He's looking at all this horrible shit, masturbating it the whole time, and then. Just as he's ejaculated and covered himself from quite literally head to toe covered, and then they break in and he's like, oh, it was a spooky ghost, this is ectoplasm. What the fuck?
Yeah, man. Fuck.
Oh my god.
That's so funny. And again, so to then touch back to the evolution bit, as you've said before, that Randy was the bit part. He was Stan's dad. And then slowly, as we went on, more episodes start to be pitched around, because I said about the one where he's going to the fights and he's getting in the fights because he likes the baseball games, and that was, 50-50 him and the kid's story. Whereas, like you say, this is pretty much him.
Yeah. It's like he's
and
the
the kids are doing
quintessential
stuff
American dad. As weird as that,
I think that's what they use him for. Is like, this is what basic America baseline America.
Yeah. I think a mutual friend of ours, Mr. Gary Keller. Hi, Gary.
Shout out.
He actually had said something similar to me. At one point in the past, he said, I look at Randy Marsh as the quintessential American man. And that, Jesus, it's ectoplasm.
Oh, God,
it was a spooky ghost.
No problem. Overlogging,
Okay, so that was overlogging. I've got a note on number 8, which was...
The China problem.
Which is the China problem.
No. The episode title is the China problem.
Oh, the China problem. A problem.
It's a China problem.
It's a China problem. But this is the one where they, where I think Stan and Carl particularly are really upset because their friend got fucked in the ass.
You got F'd in the A.
Yeah, you got in the FDA, and it's the Indiana Jones, which builds up to the Pamphlet episodes where they end up going to South America or something. They're like, I'm sorry, we're not very happy because our friend got fucked in the ass.
And
it's because Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, had been released, and they're like, our friend just got fucked in the ass.
Yeah.
Just hilarious. So now we're on to
season 13, which brings us to 2009. So we're still 10 years behind.
Years ago.
One's in here, the Coon.
Straight away. Intro of the Coon.
Yeah, that's it. And then that was the introduction of the Coon. Now, obviously, again, it's short for raccoon. Let's just be totally clear.
Yeah,
that's the joke they're making.
No racism involved.
Exactly. The joke is that he is a raccoon and he calls himself the Coon. And obviously, Matt and Trey's intended joke is the other connotations for that word. But again, that was a great episode. Fish sticks. I assume you got fish sticks.
I've got fish sticks.
You're a gay fish.
Yeah, you're a gay fish.
I'm a gay fish, says Kanye West.
Well, do you like fish sticks? Yeah, then you're a gay fish.
fish.
I'm not a gay fish!
You like fish sticks though.
And what I loved is coming out of that, I remember seeing the memes where somebody, like Kanye West was walking past one day and he was like saying hi to his fans, and some guy just went, do you like fish sticks? And he just looked at the guy and he just like stared daggers at him like, don't you fucking start with me. I love that.
Because again, I'm looking at this sheet we have, actually has the viewership on it as well for each episode.
Wow. Really? I didn't
look
that.
down this side, for some of it anyway.
Yeah. Is this a highly rated, viewed one?
Oh, well, I don't know, but we were at about 3 or 4 million views, but that one was, it's just the 3.1.
Okay.
The Coon was the highest of that season, the 3.27. So yeah, it was the second highest viewed episode. Actually, the first one was. But yeah, it got into the mainstream, and Kanye West was totally aware of what was going on, even though he probably hadn't watched the episode. Dances with Smurfs, which is the Avatar piss take.
Yeah, WTF for me, which is the wrestling one.
Go on.
Do you don't recall one?
No, I've got to be honest, I'm looking at some of these.
No. So WTF is the one where the boys go and see an episode of WWE Raw, and then they decide to build their own backyard wrestling promotion, which is perhaps closer to the actual professional wrestling than Raw in this day and age.
Yeah, probably.
It was fucking hilarious. And the whole town suddenly gets behind it because they're just putting this on in the backyard. And then the whole town just comes out and they're like, this is the best show ever. And then they're like fighting because they want to get picked up by somebody in WWE.
Yeah, that's right.
And it turns out to be like the most inconsequential person. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Season 14 now. There's a lot of these. I don't remember all of these at all. Like the Tale of Scroty McBoogaballs sounds hilarious, but I can't remember for the Christ.
So
what that is.
This is the one where the boys come up with the most horrendous story ever, like the most vulgar story that they could ever think of, and they write it, but Butters takes claim for the fact that he's created it.
Oh, right, so he's the creator.
Yeah, so he's the creator of it. It's a very weird one. It's a bit of a weird one.
Okay. Yeah, I've got You Have Zero Friends, which again I think was a bit of a foreshadower of. I mean, I know this was 2010, so social media was a thing, but we were still
now I remember
sort of.
this one. Yeah.
I'm so fairly sure we were sort of pre-Twitter's big thing.
This was MySpace and not Facebook.
No, it was Facebook.
Was it Facebook?
It was definitely Facebook, but I don't think we had the rest of the social medias around. But again, this is, it's still an issue now, and it's talked about in terms of mental health for the current generation and how things affect them. The 200th and 201st episode, which is just called 200 and 201, which is where Scott Tenorman gets his revenge.
Yeah.
In Sheepshan.
Yeah.
Which is just an inception of his take, but I love it because of the music, when someone keeps coming in the background and going. Yeah. That just
well synced up there.
made me laugh all the time. We also get Coon 2, Hindsight.
Yeah, Mysterio
Rises, and Coon versus Coon and Friends.
But what I love most about this, having rewatched it, is he's not going.
Sorry, audio listeners, I just had to pick up my pen.
Yeah, so this is the one where, obviously, having watched Kenny die multitude of times throughout all of the seasons and stuff like that, we finally get the explanation as to why Kenny comes back, because his parents went to Cthulhu.
He is Mysterion.
Yeah, he's Mysterion.
Yeah, Mysterion.
Yeah. And so basically, what it is that his parents had gone to a Cult of Cthulhu meeting one day and got absolutely shit-faced, and then it turns out that somehow that has then blessed their child, Kenny, with eternal life. So every time Kenny dies, that night, his mum births him back again. So they just pop him into bed, zip him up into his hoodie, and there he is. He's born for the next day. And that was the explanation. And he freaks out because he finally finds out, he's like, you guys don't remember that I died yesterday. What the fuck are you talking about? I hope you fucking remember this. And then just kills himself. And they're like, oh my god, he just killed himself. The next day, they don't fucking remember. So again, it just, taking that back to that explanation as to why does Kenny die and why did he come back? They finally gave us a fucking answer. It took them, 14 seasons?
14 seasons and over 10 years.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And the final episode of the season, I don't remember it. I just remember Randy going, creme fraiche.
Yeah. So that's where he's obsessed with cooking channels.
Oh yeah.
And he just wants to make all of the meals. So like, he wakes up in the middle of the night, makes these fancy foods and stuff like this, and just tops it off with a little bit of creme fraiche. And just completely, destroys the house because he's cooking all this crazy food.
So, this point I am starting to get into the bits where I don't remember as much. So, I've flagged City Sushi.
Shitty
Sushi. I can't remember why.
I
just like Shitty Wok.
Yeah, so Shitty Sushi is where, so obviously Shitty Wok is run by the Chinese guy, and then Shitty Sushi comes in, and it's run by a Japanese guy. So they're basically arguing amongst themselves because everyone's like, well, yeah, but you're just two Asian guys. He's like, no, and he just loses it. So yeah, the Shitty Wok guy walks in and starts a fight with the Shitty Sushi guy, and it's fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Oh, is that the one with the goddamn Mongolians?
No,
which one's that?
I think we've missed that off.
The Mongolians
it's so hard.
come and attack,
so hard to
and he builds a wall and shit, and he's
Yeah.
fighting the Mongolians again, like the Chinese did back in the day.
I think that's also the way.
Goddamn Mongolians!
Is it also where he's revealed to actually be a white guy as well? Just because, he turns out he's actually a white guy who's got a personality complex.
I remember Asperger's, which is where Carmen, again, pretends he's got Asperger's so that he can get stuff.
Yeah. One of the ones that I think is...
But again, the Americans... Asperger's is how we pronounce it. For some reason, the Yanks like to say Asperger's because, that makes it really... I mean, I get that it's funny, but...
What was the name of the 7th episode in this one?
You're Getting Old.
Yeah, okay, so it was Getting Old. So this is the one where Stan, I think you said it about earlier, where he starts listening to music and instead of hearing it, he's like...
Yes,
and he just hears it as poop.
Yeah.
And I was just like, shit, that again, you look at this episode and go, if I listen to music for this generation, do you know what I hear? Poop sounds. Because it's shit.
Yeah.
Absolute right, shit. And that's where this one came in, and I thought, and then episode 10, you've got to know what episode 10 is on this one.
Bass to mouth.
Yeah, do you know why this is important?
No.
Because it's the return of Lemmy Winks.
Is it?
Yes, because this is the one
I
where...
thought that was later on.
No, this is the return of Lemmy Winks, because this is Licky Weeks. Licky Weeks or something like that.
Yes,
So
with the WikiLeaks one. And that's why I thought it was more recent, because I've watched 15 more recently than I've watched Series 22 and 23. Ah!
So this is where WikiLeaks is going around revealing everybody's intimate details
That's
at school.
right.
And then Lemmy Winks has to come back to fight off WikiLeaks. And it's fucking hilarious again, because it's the return of Lemmy Winks. So now we're into season 16. You know what? I've only got one. I've only got one in 16. I don't know why.
I actually haven't done a damn. I haven't got anything.
Nothing for
flagged.
So the only one I've got in this one is Raising the Bar, which is where basically Carmen, because he's getting so fat, and this is Honey Boo Boo, who's not somebody that we know. It's like
Christ,
some American
I hate
person.
that girl.
And she's basically just riding around because she's so fucking fat. She's riding around on a mobility scooter.
She's a really fat, like, pageant thing, and she had a TV series in America.
I think it was all to do with basically Carmen has gotten so fat that he uses a mobility scooter. But at the same time, this is also about James Cameron trying to raise the bar. So he's like goes to the ocean floor to try and raise the bar. Obviously trying to talk about James Cameron as a whole.
Yeah.
I don't exactly have much against James Cameron, but at the same time, he can get up his own arse a little bit from time to time.
I don't think he's been good in quite some time.
No, that's probably... Well, I mean, he's spent, the last decade trying to redo or do Avatar, and which I think is just finished shooting.
Hang on, let me fight my way through the crowds of people that are interested in the Avatar sequel. Excuse me, I'm coming through here. Yeah,
enough on that one.
And then the last episode in that series is called Obama Wins, so I can only assume that is where Obama wins.
Yeah, so this is...
and actually, I missed one. Back ages ago, the Douche versus Turd, or Douche and Turd it's called, which is the first one where they equate any election, and it works over here too, is a fight between some giant douche and some turd sandwich. And it's always a giant douche and a turd sandwich. The faces are just different. And they're, again, as you get older, you go, shit, they're right. Fucking hell. And this is, how weird is it to say that the older you get, you will have more appreciation for an animated cartoon, you know? It just, that isn't what we understand it as. But again, this is... its evolution as it went along was it realised that its audience was now 10 years older than they were before, 15 years older by this point. So you can start making some of those points. You don't need to play to the 15-year-old crowd who's watching you anymore, who want poop jokes and stuff. You can play to a higher audience. I've got things like...
we're into what,
17?
17.
Yeah. So Goth Kids 3, Dawn of the Posers, I quite like that one.
I laughed at murder porn because...
Informative murder porn.
I do think that it's weird because even now, especially now, like there are so many shows like dramas on BBC, ITV, even American TV as well, that are all obsessed with fucking murder mysteries. Like, somebody gets murdered, there's a whole mystery about it. Somebody else gets murdered, there's a mystery about it. Guess what? There's another show where...
You go look at any podcast feed on any platform, man. True crime. There's so much true crime.
I fucking hate this stuff. Like, can we get over this murder porn obsession? Just weird. Like, I do not like the CSI
because of course
kind of stuff.
It's based on the channels in America. That the equivalents over here would be like Alibi or something that shows these things, but they always do it in a sort of erotic thriller style, don't they? Where it's all very sexual before someone gets murdered.
So all the kids think, oh shit, if our parents watch this, then my dad's going to kill my mum. That was...
I've then marked a couple of Game of Thrones piss takes.
The Black Friday.
Ass and fire and titties and dragons.
The Black Friday episodes. Which are totally hilarious. The Xbox versus PS4 debate. I think we both sit on the PS4.
Can't tell you the last time I played a game on my PS4, but I'm a Nintendo boy. Sorry.
That's fine. I don't hold it against you. So for me, on the next season 18. Now again, you probably didn't care much about the first episode. I did because I found it fucking hilarious. Go fund yourself, because this is a whole piss take on the Washington Redskins, which was a very, very topical debate in America.
Oh yes, because they had a debate over whether the Redskins, whether it, again, judging things by 2019 standards, is it offensive?
And so they end up getting the rights to the logo and the name. So and then obviously the Washington Redskins, the football team turn up, are all pissed off about it. They're like, you have to change your logo. All right then. So they change the logo to the Washington Redskins logo and basically just draw a dick and balls at the bottom. And again, from the perspective of the NFL and how much they were influencing us, there's also the Kickstarter side of this as well. Basically saying, we don't want to do anything. So they just, we don't want to do anything. Just give us money for doing nothing. We will do nothing if you give us the money. And everybody suddenly starts giving the money. Which is just fucking hilarious because so many Kickstarters and people like that just...
Yeah, and I mean,
just do that.
Kickstarter, you don't hear about it that much anymore. But again, as we know, is going into this sort of thing, this Patreon is the thing now. And again, go and look at our Patreon if you want. Pay some money. You know what it does? Keeps this studio going. Doesn't go in my pockets. Keeps this studio going. Keeps the man behind the glass over there, Wayne. Keeps him in brews. That's what, if you want to fund us. I don't care whether you fund us or not. It's for him, for now. Like we say, if the overhead's here and Wayne's brews will come out of any money that anyone donates. But, we'll give you cool stuff in return. And that's why I see it.
That's the difference between the Kickstarter one. Obviously, we saw certain
because I funded a Kickstarter game that came out.
Yes, I recall you saying
Mighty
about that.
Number 9.
Yeah.
Because I was a huge fan of Mega Man as a kid, and I was like, yes, from the guy Mega Man, he's going to redo and do a new Mega Man. You know what it was? It was fucking bollocks. Such a shit game. But you don't know at the time, do you? And that's why I feel, Patreon is then slightly different because you watch the content for free.
Evolved kind of.
And then if you want more, then you choose to pay for the more. Otherwise, you just watch the free stuff. It's fine, Season. Oh yes, we're in season 18. So.
Freemium games.
I was going to say I've got that one highlighted, and again we see a return to "You're not bad, I'm not your buddy guy." Because they at the end put one of the Canadian dudes on a block of ice and just push him away from the mainland or something, and they're just going, "I'm not your buddy guy, I'm not your guy friend."
This one for me spoke volumes because I'm not sure whether you played a similar kind. I know we each played freemium games, but I played the Simpsons tap out game.
Yeah, I played that
and
for
it
ages.
was, oh my fucking god, like tapping here and it totally was. It was like, this is a freemium game, but it's not really free.
No.
And that's it. You look at these companies and you go, holy shit, you are actually raking in millions. You are still playing one of the freemium games.
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Yeah.
But
I've never spent a penny on, and I never will. And at the minute, it's still fun for me, so I don't stop it. It's half an hour a day. I piss about on my phone.
And the only other one, I don't know whether you've got. It doesn't look like you've got any yet. The other one is episode 9, which was
#rehash.
#rehash, which is the YouTubers commentary one. Don't know if you remember this. So this is where like Kyle's getting really pissed off with his brother because his brother just keeps instead of watching or playing games, he'd rather watch PewDiePie. Do audio commentary on like Call of Duty, and then obviously Carmen gets involved and he's like, "Get me!" And then all of the kids suddenly start watching Carmen commentate on people commentating, and just hilarious. Now, as somebody who watches a couple of Twitch streamers who are people playing games, it's more for the RP, and I enjoy that. But
it is a strange thing, and I did think years ago, I was like, why would you watch someone playing a game? I'd rather just play it. But yeah, I have found myself watching the odd Twitch streamer. I've found myself watching, some games. If there's a game I'm stuck on or something, I'll call up a little YouTube stream to watch their tactics for something and talk through the tactics. Again, that bloody Star Wars game, I never have, but everyone's always posting in the chat about, go and watch this guy's video on how to do this battle. And I'm like, I don't care enough to actually know how to do it. Thanks, I'll just keep hitting auto and letting it do the battle for me. I can't be fucked. But now this is where I've been bad. I genuinely don't think I've seen any of Series 19 because I realised when I started with Series 20 on Member Berries, I realised I've never seen the episode where PC Principal.
Oh, okay. So, I've got PC Principal on my list here.
Because PC Principal Final Justice is the last episode of Season 19. But I'm looking at this going, stunning and brave. Oh no, that's Caitlyn Jenner, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's stunning and brave, of course.
That's it. So the introduction of.
So maybe I have seen this. I'm just not sure. Tweak X Craig.
Oh, so before. The introduction of PC Principal is this whole diss on Caitlyn Jenner because basically Carl just kind of says, she's not a hero to me. And then PC Principal and everybody around is like, how the fuck dare you? Like, Caitlyn Jenner's a fucking hero. And then it kind of ends up later on where, like, you know, Kyle makes an apology. And, okay, yeah, you're introduced to Caitlyn Jenner. She's your friend now. She's going to drive you back home. And then this is the point where he's like, buckle up, buckaroo. And then just runs over somebody straight away. And just for the whole season, just keeps going, running people over, buckle up, buckaroo. Fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
I do like the voice for Caitlyn Jenner because, again, she comes back with the Garrison thing later on, doesn't she?
Tweak, you raised the other one though, Tweak X Craig. Now this is,
I want to say,
again,
this is the one with the Special Olympics?
No, this is,
one?
no, this is the one where the girls suddenly start creating this yaoi artwork, and it's like Japanese style artwork, and basically it's putting Tweak and Craig in a gay into a gay relationship, and they're like, what the fuck is this about? And it's all like, oh well, yeah, you know, the girls decided, or the Asians decided that they're gay, and that's the whole thing. Is like, what do you mean that the Asians decide who's gay? Like, even Stan Marsh is like, the Asians decide who's gay, and it's just fucking hilarious. And by the end of it, although they pretend to like have a breakup, they effectively get back together, and from then on, they are a de facto gay couple.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hilarious because, again, going back to one of the games that I played, I think it's the second one, Fractured But Whole. Part of the game is actually to go around and find all of the yaoi artworks. So everywhere you go, you have to find these Tweak and Craig pictures, and it's just fucking hilarious. Because again, it plays into that within it as well. But again, one of my favourite episodes because it's just such funny interplay between those two characters.
So yeah, we're on to season 20 from 2016. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, really, because this was the first time, I think, where they proper did a serialized
it. Yeah.
So that every episode flowed into the next. You had to have watched the previous episode to know what was going on in the next one. Mm-hmm. And it all starts with member berries.
Remember?
Yeah, I remember. Remember Half?
Yeah.
Remember the Wampa?
Yeah, you remember
I remember.
Randall?
Oh, I remember. Oh, he was fantastic. And essentially, the whole series is about nostalgia and everyone being really high on nostalgia because Force Awakens had come out. Mm-hmm. And I never thought about their point about JJ and what JJ did with Force Awakens is absolutely spot on.
It is.
Because I remember saying after the film had come out, I was like, yeah, but did you not think, in that bit at the end with the planet and the thing, did you not go, I've seen this before?
I remember.
It's in A New Hope, isn't it?
That.
When they do the thing with the Death Star. I've seen this scene. And Han even references that they've seen this scene before.
Yeah, I remember.
But then you start thinking, it's all just a massive smash together of things that you remember, like a best of from Star Wars first trilogy. Yeah. I remember.
Sadly for me, this season didn't necessarily have any kind of standout ones.
No, because it's so serialised, it's really difficult to go for. Because Member Berries is great, but then the Member Berries play throughout the whole series. So there's bits that happen with the Member Berries that I can't remember which episode it's in because it's different points that it happens.
It is.
Because they realise the Member Berries are drugging them all, so then they have to stop taking the Member Berries, and Member Berries become, I don't know, sort of like a pint in the evening would be to just chill you out. You have a few Member Berries and it just makes you feel better about life because you get all nostalgic for the way things were. Yeah. And they equate that to the presidential race and Trump. And I assume, is this the series where he actually got...
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Because as far as I remember at the time, they had planned everything as if Hillary was going to win.
Correct.
And what they were going to do after this. So I think the last 3 or 4 episodes, or however many there are after the election result.
I think it's like episode 4 or 5 that the result happens.
Yeah, and I think you can feel the disjoint in it. I think you can feel that, shit, we've been planning to go that way for 6 months. And
now we've got to go this way. Yeah.
What the fuck are we going to do?
Yeah.
But it's hilarious. And then, of course, the last episode in that season is the end of serialisation as we know it, because they go, right, we've had enough with serialisation. It didn't go the way we thought it was going to go. Let's scrap that and just do what we do best.
One of the best things coming out of this, though, was Carmen gets a girlfriend. And it's just like the introduction of Heidi, and he's talking about, basically, at one point he talks about...
Because he has a falling out with the boys, doesn't he?
He does have a falling out with the boys, and he suddenly, he talks about seeing a woman's vagina, and she's like, do you want to see it? And he's like, oh my god.
So yeah, moving on from that into season 21 then.
Mm-hmm.
I flagged for white people renovating houses just because I find it hilarious because it's again a Randy episode where he's just renovating people's houses and essentially just keeps knocking walls down to make it open plan.
We're going to put this wall through, we're going to make this kitchen, and we're going to turn it into an open plan.
Open it all out.
Yeah. And guess what? On this next house, we're going to knock this wall through, we're going to turn the kitchen into an open plan.
That really funny. You get franchise prequel.
This is the one that I wanted to say because this is the one which, genius as it is, because they are talking about, I mean, this is where we suddenly look at the MCU in a whole different light. For the Netflix of it all, how many films are released, they've got a board.
Phase 1, 2, 3, haven't they?
Who gets what at what point.
Yeah.
Now this is the one for me which was absolutely brilliant because it ends with them kind of disagreeing and basically having a civil war.
Yes.
Nothing happens about that because that goes straight into the Fractured But Whole video game, which is absolutely fantastic. And because it brings back not only Jennifer Lopez, but also the other character who I can never remember the person's name, Mitch
Connors.
Mitch Connors comes back as well.
I see.
As the main villain of this. It's the whole fucking, and it's hilarious.
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't know about that.
And it's all basically because Carmen wants to be the arch nemesis to everybody else, so he's still hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Hummels and Heroin made me laugh because of how ridiculous it is. I mean, obviously,
which one's that, sorry?
Hummels and Heroin.
Hummels
it's
and
the one with the old people where they're collecting Hummels.
Oh God, yes.
And they trade Hummels for heroin and stuff. And I mean, I don't know what Hummels are, but I mean, we have our own equivalent over here, I suppose. My mum used to collect little houses that were called Lilliput Lane.
My mum collected something similar.
There's Toby jugs, as people collect, and then Royal Dalton figures and stuff like that. So I assume it's something similar over there. Moss Piglets I like, which is the one with the tardigrades where they start experimenting on the tardigrades.
Yeah, this is also the one, I've noted this as well, this is where we suddenly spot that Cartman's girlfriend Heidi is slowly but surely becoming a female version of Cartman. She's rude, she's fat, she's spotty, she's horrible to everybody. And you're like,
and it's Cartman's evil manipulation that takes her that way, because I'm sure there's a sequence in one of them where they're discussing things and she's talking about healthy food and stuff. Yes, that's it. He tricks her, doesn't he? He tells her that this is a vegan KFC that he's been to, and it's actual normal KFC. So he just keeps presenting her with vegan, quote unquote, Burger King or whatever, and she's eating it thinking it's vegan when actually it's just totally standard. So she just gets really fat. And then she starts using Cartman's excuses as to why she's fat.
Yes, and it's just the genius of that, just literally flipping it and him just slowly but surely getting pissed off.
When do they break up as well? Is it in that season?
It's at the end of that season.
Because again, there's a really interesting point that I think anyone who's been through a breakup or whatever of a long-term relationship, there's a bit in there in an episode where Cartman's like, yeah, but in a relationship, anyone can make themselves the victim. And it's that sort of thing that actually made me go, shit, yeah, you're right, because it's just the way both of them think they're right in the situation. You're like, well, you are both right in the situation, and what you're saying is absolutely correct, but it's not happening, so something's gone wrong somewhere, hasn't it? So one of you must be more in the wrong than the other, or, you know, it's a very interesting topic. Do we also get the PC babies in this one? We do get the introduction of the PC. Is this the PC babies in this one or on that series? I'm losing track. I've watched so many. Same here. I mean, we're in season 22.
Okay, we're in 10, 22.
I just remember PC babies.
Yeah.
I
think they appeared in 22. I think they possibly appeared in season 22.
Because
I know it's the introduction of Strong Woman.
That one's called Super Hard PC-ness. Is at the end of 21. And it's just the way it's phrased, super hard PC-ness. Penis. So I think super hard penis, because yes, he impregnates Strong Woman. Who is the vice principal. And that's, oh god, the stuff between those two as we then go through the rest of the seasons is hilarious. It is hilarious. Because he can't admit, he's too PC to admit that he shagged a co-worker, and she's too strong a woman and independent to admit that she needs a man to impregnate her and then to look after the offspring. So the beginning of season 22. Now I know that we both discussed this one, which is it starts off with the school shootings. So very topical. Here's the thing about season 22. I struggled with a bit of season 22, and particularly to start with, because this was, and again for anyone that doesn't know, around this time, 2018. Matt and Trey were actively saying in interviews and on social media, they were like, we've had enough, we don't want any more, we want to cancel, fucking cancel South Park.
Yep.
They tried to start the hashtag cancel South Park.
Yeah.
So what they did was, because they've never shied away from these nasty topics and making light of them or making jokes about them and stuff. But I've never felt that they were being deliberately nasty about it. And I just feel that for a few of these, they were just being deliberately horrible, as fucking harsh as they could be, and throwing it at the screen.
What, 3 episodes?
Hoping at least the first three episodes.
It starts with exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Like school shooting.
Yeah.
But the other thing with which that's the thing. Yes, it's harsh on the school shooting side of things.
Yeah.
But the sub part of this one was that Cartman gets pissed off because Token won't let him copy his answers, and he's just like, and he's like, it all becomes apparent that it's all to do with Black Panther. He's like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's right. He thinks that he doesn't like.
You don't like Black Panther.
Yeah.
Like you get it as well. Like he just, and that's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
He goes round to Token's house and speaks to his parents. Oh, he hasn't seen Black Panther. Oh, okay. And he's like, no, he knows he's seen it, and he's just like, you just don't like it. You just don't want to admit it, which is brilliant.
I think the one that really hit me was, because the Dead Kids thing takes it way too far at times. A Boy and a Priest. It's the machine, the clean-up machine.
Yeah.
Just on their bum, in their face.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Hard to watch that one.
I genuinely found that one hard to watch, and
Yeah.
I don't say that lightly. And again, I'm not someone who thinks, oh, censor it, or oh, that goes too far. I'm very much of the opinion everything's funny or nothing's funny. Yeah, so I don't think there's much more to say. The Tegrity Farms Halloween special is fucking brilliant because we're still at Tegrity Farms at this stage.
Yeah.
The season, it's called the season finale, is episode 6. But
it's
that
not
is essentially they finish. They sort of wrap up the first 6 episodes, don't they?
Yeah.
And then Randy moves back to South Park.
Right, no, I think they're still on the farm. It's just like the season's ended because that's it. They can't grow any more crops. So they've got season finale special.
Yeah.
Integrity
Yeah.
weed at a limited price and all this shit.
And then I like when they put it on the shelf at the end. There's all the other episodes that have featured Tegrity have got their own version of weed.
Absolutely right.
Then there was Board Girls, which is very funny, where the boys start a board gaming club, the girls want to come along
this
to
was
it,
brilliant.
and they don't want it because the girls know all the rules and play all the rules, and Carmen doesn't like that, but the rest of the guys do. So the girls go and set up their own thing, and then alongside you have Strong Woman entering a Strong Woman competition. And is it Hillary Swanson the name, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
Which is essentially Macho Man Randy Savage.
Cross with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, as a has just come out
woman.
identifying as a trans woman.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that one. The most recent one, which I know you haven't seen, I watched it last night, I think will be called One for the Ladies.
Okay.
But it's hilarious, and I need to look up whether what's actually going on in it is true. Because if it is... Fuck! What's this world come to?
Okay. Well, that's what we may come back to that at some point
in
the next part. Yeah.
There you go. 22 pages, front and back, bitches.
Front and back.
Like you say, there's so much we missed out there, and there's so much we could talk about with the dynamics and stuff. So maybe we would come back for another one at a later time. But for now, I'm going to drop my stuff on the floor, and it's probably going to make a noise.
What noise might that be? Our little friend.
Oh man, why is everyone mad at me today?
So again, thank you for joining us. If you're listening on audio, thank you. You've been here from the start. We love you. You're brilliant. And audio will continue to be supported. But hello into the camera to any video viewers. Leave a comment. Tell us if you like this stuff. If you're interested in this, we'll do another one that can be video based. Otherwise, we'll just keep doing it audio. We might end up filming some little bits with the rest of the Byte Back guys here today. So come to the Patreon to find those. You may see some of them on YouTube. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, for now, facebook.com/The Screenmasters for all the links to where you need to be. But yeah, we'll leave it as I'm Bav.
I'm Fluff.
And this has been Screenmasters.